riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. Tim's, well, he's here, but he's not on mics. He is currently dealing with a pigeon situation. Spare you guys the details, but we went on holiday. Somebody left the windows open. No, it was you. It was you. Anyway, somebody left the windows open, and there may or may not be a couple dozen pigeons in our house. Anyway, this week, here to bring you the exciting conclusion of our ICPissmas celebration, Fearless Fred Fury, Part 2, a whopping 12 remaining tracks to get through, and boy, I gotta tell you, it is chock full of clown goodness. You guys know the score. If you haven't listened to the first episode, go back, give it a listen. Get locked in, get ready for episode 2. As always, you can find us at hatepod.com. You can reach out to us on Instagram. That's hatepod. Twitter's album hatepod. I'm G Harvey Tweets. hatePodMail at gmail.com. We've got subreddits, Discord servers. It's all there. Reach out. We want to hear from you. We're looking for some t-shirt designs and some new album artwork for 2024. We will pay you handsomely if it's good. If you want to get some ideas from us, reach out. hatePodMail at gmail.com. Put in the title, new t-shirts, new artwork, whatever. All right, let's get down to business, guys. We're going to pick up on track number 6, I believe. I present part 2 of the Fearless Fred Fury. Merry ICPissmas. We open with some very unexpected acoustic guitar, which is quickly accompanied by record scratches, as you do. And then before we get into the song itself, Tim, I did a little research on Twitter, and this is how Violent J explains what Satellite is all about. He says, quote, "Now we were working on a song called Satellite, which is actually a term we came up with at the Hatchet, don't know what that is, for when we're trying to get somebody to look at the bigger picture. We say to each other, shit, man, you need to satellite this shit, bro. Ninjas get caught up in the day-to-day grind of life, always dealing with whatever bone is right in front of you. We sometimes fail to see how blessed we actually are." End quote. Unfortunately, Tim, I have to say, it's actually not a bad expression.
Sure, it's like taking a 30,000-foot view on something.
Yeah,
but
we're just saying like, hey, remove yourself from, just take a new perspective.
Right, but their application is insane, right? Because the song immediately starts out, "Your life's shitty? Wow, is that what you said, man? Try and tell that to a dead man." Again, rhyming man with man, as they do. But this is like bizarro mom advice, right? Like, you think your life is bad? You're not dead. You know, well, sure, I guess, but it could be better. Like, we can move in a better direction without immediately being like, well, no, we can't make any improvements. Like, don't complain. Like, you're not dead. Yeah. Like, you remember when you greased up my rock climbing shoes and crippled me for 8 months?
Yes.
So my mom just casually said, "Good thing you didn't land on your head." Yes, it is. What's your point? Like, bad thing, I didn't land safely.
Yeah.
Fuck is your
doesn't really change this borderline crush injury I have.
Yeah. Just because it isn't maximally bad doesn't not make it a little bad. I think those negatives all line up.
At least that was still coherent. I know I've said this on the show, so I'll be very brief, but my mother is, I assume. I just don't live with her anymore.
Or speak to her.
Easy. Accurate. The king of this. Only it was so disproportionate and clearly made up that it was maddening. Like, hey, can I go sleep over at Tim's this weekend? He's going to have a bunch of friends over. We're going to watch a bunch of movies. No, you can't go. Well, I was probably grounded, but let's assume she had a real reason. Oh, man, why not? Hey, listen, I heard about 2 children that went to a sleepover and the entire second floor collapsed on them and everyone was crushed, but they didn't die immediately. They were alive for 4 days before it finally crushed their skulls. Okay? So it could be worse. I could let you go and that could happen. That did not happen.
Right. It completely ruins what satellite means because, right, okay, you have a small problem. We should back up and see the bigger picture so you can put that in context. But they've backed up so far that it's like saying, oh, there's this war in the Middle East and it just like, oh, let's back up a little bit. Let's back up. The heat death of the universe will make that problem kind of not matter on a long enough timeline. And you're like, yes, you've backed up a bit too far here, right? You're having a shitty
it's just false equivalencies. Like, oh man, I've been sick with the same fucking flu for 3 weeks. I cannot shake this cough. At least you don't have Ebola.
Yes,
well,
exactly.
Yes,
yeah. Right.
At least I don't have Ebola.
But how
is that helpful?
It's
to me?
this thing. That's the exact point. It's not helpful. It's this thing to absolve you of any actual responsibility. So like, you don't actually have to fix something because it could always be worse, right? And I would go as far as to say that this goes against the ethos of one Red Fred.
Interesting. How so?
Well, Red Fred is all about standing up and solving your problems. This is about just, whatever, fuck it. Nothing really matters. It doesn't matter. I may as well be dead.
Well, sure. Absolutely. But I think that second category of those people that like, they take for granted what they have.
Okay, fair enough.
Because remember, you've got the wimps and then you've got the complainers.
He's a complicated beast.
Absolutely. Just like the real Fred. Whose power does come from mostly other people's fear, but also a mustache.
Yes. And you can't just cover it up with your finger because it will consume your finger.
Absolutely. I don't know if consume's the right word, but you'll lose the finger.
Yeah.
There it is. Thank you.
It dissolves.
Bless me with the sight of a satellite. I can't always see from here. Can't always see clear from down here. Bless me with the sight of a satellite. I can't always see from here. The bigger picture disappears.
If this song was just that, good song.
Yeah.
Like
good enough.
Not great, but I'm into it.
Yeah, no complaints.
And then Garrett. So then we get to verse 2. Freedom shouldn't be tooken for granted. Or, in my opinion, you deserve a dick implanted in your rectal hole and another in your cocksucker, cause you a cocksucker, motherfucker. Motherfuckers like you ain't motherfucking right, dude. I'll fucking fight you. What? How? Okay.
I've lost the thread a little bit.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try to defend them because we must maintain a positive Pissmas attitude. I will not let this go negative, at least not this early in the show. What do you think of this? Song goes, shit, you can fall in love at any time. It don't cost a dime, but being locked up is lost time. My homie Esham pointed out the worst punishment for crime is when they fuck off your time. It's worth more than anything, money, sex, love, all the fucking above. So maybe the big thesis here is the only thing that you can legitimately complain about is being locked up because there ain't shit you can do at that point. But anything short of that, you got options, bitch, so shut up.
What about getting your arms cut off, but you have your freedom?
I mean, you got options. You can go around touring the country telling people the story about how your arms got cut off.
Arms get cut off and your mouth gets sewn shut.
You could become a piano player that only uses his feet.
You still have your feet, but your toes are also lost from frostbite.
Frostbite. You write a best-selling novel using a series of
If you say
taps.
Sharpie in one's butt.
No, I was gonna say nose tapping a flashlight to Morse code the dictation about his struggles.
Only flashlight you have gets weirdly hot and you can't stand to do it touching your nose.
Oh my. You go fucking insane. And I don't know, spend the rest of your life pooping and throwing it with your nubs.
Your foot
that sounds pretty bad. I don't know how much worse it could get. I guess every few days
you could be
someone comes
locked up.
along yeah, there it is. Locked up. You know what? There's a great defense. Well done. You foisted your own petard. Hoisted? Hoisted your own petard. Hoisted? Foisted. Hoisted. Foist isn't a word, is it?
Hoisted. They're both words, but the word you're looking for is hoisted.
Hoisted. With an H.
Continue. Please continue. With an H. Jesus Christ.
Okay, just hey, don't make me get stuck on these road bumps. You can clear the way at any time by just agreeing. Anyway, let's see. Song continues. Out here, we all Pac-Mans in a maze running from ghouls. Every day I'm hustling, but like fools, we tend to overlook the privilege and the right to be given this life. We focus on the bullshit and the strife. Shit ain't always right, but what's wrong? A car line long, much worse, a hearse. So again, don't complain about traffic. You're not dead, and I will give them 2 points for the use of the word ghouls in a song. Does make me laugh every time. Every day I'm hustling. I guess that's a Rick Ross call out. That's stupid. It should have been every day I'm shuffling and made an LFMAO reference. Would have been much funnier. I can sense you're done with this song. Anything else, Timmy?
Oh no.
Track number 7. Seriously hilarious.
These bitch ass artists out here ride the juggalo escalator all damn day. Think they the
Oh boy. Spooky beat, kinda.
Yes. Now, I think this song, a lawyer made them put this in here.
Explain.
This song to me is like the legal disclaimer to say, listen, everything we're saying is for entertainment purposes. please don't take anything we're saying seriously. Don't kill anyone, because we will definitely get blamed for it by the media because of all those times we told you to kill people.
Love it. This is Asterisk the song.
Absolutely. This is allegedly the song.
Let's see here. They say, we got jokes and we hilarious. When our target deserves hit, as do various. Inner city posse scariest. Off recording devices trust. That's when we nicest. And if the price of my jokes is death, word. So yeah, this is all jokes. They're just jokes. They're just songs. So song continues. These no-names take a beef stance, claiming they'll hurt mine. But when the chance come, that stance in the merch line. So they're claiming that people are talking a bunch of shit about how they're going to attack them. And then those very people may or may not be standing in line for merch?
Yes, Garrett. Everyone secretly loves these guys and secretly has shirts or something.
They really hate the band, but they love the shirts.
I mean, listen, it's the finest in Egyptian cotton. Only the best for these guys. Yeah, these bitch-ass artists out there ride the Juggalo escalator all damn day. They think they the greatest on the way up, then they walk away, knowing the rest all hate us. They watch what they say. So people
I
are...
want a list.
What's that?
Who are these alleged people?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
List.
I don't know. It's unclear who has gotten popular, what band has gotten popular off of the backs of these guys.
Nobody.
Maybe
Nobody.
Ron Jeremy has had a career resurgence as a result, as an MC for these guys, but I feel like he stuck to them until the very bitter end when he got convicted of all those horrible, horrible things and got dementia.
Well, I don't know that he got dementia.
Oh, sorry, lied about having dementia to get out of it.
Allegedly.
I don't think he's going to
get out of it.
Yeah. Maybe
here.
Gary Busey's nephew?
Yeah, what's his name again?
Mike.
I always want to call him Drew.
You're thinking of Dr. Drew. He's not related to Gary Busey at all.
Thank
They
you.
just have the same teeth. We might make 9/10 of that list of invites into a fucking hit list. And, maybe they are just threatening people again. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think they're just talking shit.
Right.
Let's see.
Yeah, because the chorus is, we just some funny clowns, seriously hilarious, hold it now. They're just saying, listen, we're going to talk shit, but it's just jokes. These are not arrestable offenses.
Yeah, and some people take it super seriously and they claim they're going to come and beat the shit out of us. But then, nobody ever does. So
because nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares. We care for some reason. I don't really remember why. Listeners, write in, hatePodMail@gmail.com. How did this happen?
Tradition.
I know why we do it and don't record it, but I don't know why we do it and record it. The other ones were much shorter.
That's fair. We just listened to it once. Track number 8, game over.
Your mother's so far in debt, she had to sell your grandmother's jewelry.
Start a fucking game.
So many video game noises.
Yeah, I am assuming you love this.
I mean, not really. We're 8 tracks in. At this point, I was like, wow, this is going slowly. So let's get into it immediately. Someone said there was a time when it costed a quarter. Maybe it still should, sorta. Instill some kind of order, cause it's been weeks now since I put my balls to any water. Trash hoarder style, mildly, I'm caught up in the slaughter. Fuck Judy and her fat booty, Call of Duty got me hooked. I beat the game and ain't cheat once. In just 3 months, it took me. So, we've got a video game addict who has forsaken his girlfriend and her fat booty in order to continue with his Call of Duty.
Right.
And he's got dirty balls, Tim.
Absolutely. And he thinks that if they only put a very small monetary price on the game, that would help him get his life in order.
Right. If you had to go to the local arcade if you wanted to actually play.
Yes.
I stayed and put the poop and pee and snot whatnot in jars and screwed the top tight and go through a lot. It's not right in sight. Ugh, going Howard Hughes with it. Tim, you have various jars of liquids I don't dare open. What's that about?
Oh, those are experiments, Garrett.
Oh, no.
I'm a biologist.
Oh, I don't know about that. You and your continued pursuits to produce a homunculus.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This did also remind me of that after-school special about bulimia, where the mom finds all the jars of
The
vomit.
trash bag
Yeah.
with the jars of vomit.
Yeah.
I love that you and I have such a cultural gulf between us, given that you were not in country. But somehow the bulimia special on HBO of all places made its way through.
Everyone watched it. Everyone watched that.
So funny. I mean, it was informative. I learned so much about the scourge of bulimia.
Yeah. I came close to being bulimic myself, but then I was scared my mom would find my vomit because that's really the only thing you can do with it. I do like to, every once in a while, take my van out onto a dark country road and just pig out in it, though.
It does seem fun, right?
Yeah.
It's like a little camping trip with snacks.
We delve back into the violence. Last night, Mom learned it wasn't right to fucking interrupt me. She ran back upstairs. I took a butter knife, punctured her butt cheek. My life is in the monitor. My body's the remote. Do I leave this chair? Nope. Don't own a pair of shoes or coat. I go through thousands of friends. They all live in my headset. Reset. How many lives do I get? Am I dead yet? So this kinda maybe ties it back into the fearless Fred whatever. He's wasting his life in a way that Fred may not approve of.
Sure, absolutely. Not making the most of what he's got. For me, it's nothing to tell a 9-year-old, fuck off fast. And if he was standing right here, I'd choke his ass. And if he was a warrior on the screen, but don't pull my plug or you will find me stuck in my chair, a worthless slug. So he is every bit the traditional Cheeto-fingered nerd sitting in the basement playing endless video games, screaming at teens. Now, Tim, you and I did not ever really partake in the online gaming. We're much more of a two-player co-op couch situation, or couch beds, as the case may have it. Listeners, like, do you think you can play can you play those games without having to listen to children scream profanity and racism at you?
Do you even want to?
Yes, that would be my preference.
Oh, well then these games are not for you, Garrett.
Correct. Let's see here. How is that chair even comfortable? It looks like it was crushed by a monster truck. Start the fucking game. Oh, right. This is the really weird chorus. It's a call and response. So somebody criticizing his lifestyle says, how is that chair even comfortable? It looks like it was crushed by a monster truck. To which our main character responds, literally does make me laugh. Start the fucking game. Oh my, Jesus Christ. What the hell is all them nasty jars? Let's get a game going. Half the fucking yard outside is full of pizza boxes. The city trash wouldn't even take him anymore. Put a fucking game in.
I like that you're reading it like, sing the fucking song.
Say the fucking words. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be a clown. God damn it. Well, what it reminded me of actually when listening to the song is show me what you've got. Because he's like, who won a game?
Yeah.
Just ignoring the reality of his own terrible existence, like most of us.
Yeah. And I mean, it continues, right? There's carpal tunnel syndrome. There's dreadlocks coming out of noses. There's masturbation. There's thunder thighs. Sure. There's the reveal that he's 34 and there's a dead cat somewhere in the room. It's just meh.
Yeah, possibly underneath him.
Yes.
Let's see here. Oh, this I found interesting. I went and looked up and, I'm sure someone's going to correct me, but I was curious, like, what percentage of regular video game players are professionals? Because he says, like, my profession is fictional. Allegedly, just of one of the more popular games, 0.1% of all players of one of the most popular games, and maybe that's unfair, is able to become a professional earning their living off that game.
I say we lower that to 0.
I mean, it's huge, man, especially in like Japan and Korea. Sure. They'll watch they have whole channels dedicated to it.
Yeah.
I do not get it. Yeah. I mean, well, to be fair, like, I'd probably rather watch somebody play a video game than play it myself at this point. Like, they're pretty entertaining to watch.
I mean, you can watch me play video games later.
I don't want to watch you. You're shit-ass terrible at video games.
I know.
I am too.
There's some old ones. Listen, we break out the old Nintendo 64. I was great at GoldenEye. Right back there.
Yeah, we can go play GoldenEye. Tournament style? Absolutely.
No. You're watching me play the campaign. Okay, Garrett. Then we go on to an outro here, and that turns into a skit about a conversation that I guess introduces the next song.
Right. That's the important part.
Right. So it's a conversation. So, okay, there's some talk in hell, and then it goes on to, me and my girl, we used to hang out and get drunk in this old cemetery, and I'm fucking around, and there's one of those little mausoleum buildings that people are buried in, and I'm fucking with the door, and it opens. So I go in there, and it slams shut behind me, and I'm looking at all this shit, and this guy's buried with one thing that was this old bottle. It just said red rum on it, and there was actually some still in there, and this girl I'm with is kind of a dog-faced gremlin, so I thought, hell, maybe a swig of this and she'll be a little hotter, ha ha ha. So I pulled the cork off of it, and holy shit, what an odor. But you know what? I fucking slammed it, and oh man, my head started spinning. I got this rush. Next thing I knew, I said, and then we get to Night of Red Rum. Is this a Shining reference?
I mean, It's a Shining ripoff.
Okay, fair enough.
It's not a reference, no.
Okay. Yes, so Joe Brew has ingested some mystery liquid he found in a cemetery, and he goes crazy and begins stabbing this lady whomsoever he brought to the cemetery, presumably for intercourse. Is that...
Yeah, I didn't realize we were actually in track 9 now.
Oh, sorry. Track number 9, Night of Red Rum.
The whore took a pen, popped it in her titty, hoping it pours. I laughed hard, yoked it out, and she was too stunned.
That thing I said for the last song.
Absolutely. He drank mystery wine he found next to a corpse, and it made him insane, and now he's killing people. Big shock.
As it does. Sometimes if you find red liquid in a cemetery, it's blood.
Yeah. Song opens, rat-a-tat, tick-tock, red rum, my dick bled some. Flip, sip the blood, spat with his red rat tongue. What's up, Flip? Then I opened the door, yeah, scoping the whore, yeah, took a pen, popped it in her titty, hoping it pours. Yeah, so he's stabbing boobies, trying to make them pop like a Capri Sun packet, and that's not really cool.
I assume he's checking to see if they are fake breasts? Is that the...
No, I think he wants to drink her blood. I think he's insane.
Oh.
Yeah, he had mystery wine from a mausoleum that was thick and made his dick bleed that a rat named Flip drank. Keep up, Tim. I split quick, but baby's still chasing me, hurting, titties bobbing in her face and the stab holes squirting. Hurtled over a tombstone, but she can't clear it. She's like a wounded parrot, and here come a carrot. A big rock, she begged me to stop. I said sure and spread her head into slop, like it dropped from the top floor, wiping blood off my face, 'cause I'm a red rummer.
No, wiping blood on my face.
That's right. A red rummer likes to put blood upon their face. My eyes spit in flames, my heart pounds like thunder. Yeah, going crazy, stabbed this lady in the chest, then she tripped over a tombstone and he smashed her head like a watermelon Gallagher style. That brings us to the Red Hot Chili Peppers style gibberish chorus. Tweedledee and Tweedledum, if you're in need of some bleeding fun, red rum yum red rum, flex some bedlam, laba geeka laba zun, so need I'm speaking tongues. Red rum, it says it again, and then there's a bunch of die. I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much. Oh, but it is a foreshadowing of the very next album, Yum Yum Bedlam, which, much like the Saw series, Tim, there appears to be a level of continuity and forethought that is in no way represented in the artwork itself. Like, it's like there's a master plan we're not privy to, and they're not going to make it obvious through the songs. It is connected, but it's a secret.
There's probably a secondary comic book you have to buy.
You know, quite possibly, it's a slim possibility, but maybe if you listen to it in totality, it all makes sense. I can't imagine that's true.
Maybe it's genius.
They're basically the MCU of the music world.
Ugh, just as good.
Just as good.
Anyway,
walking down Grand River where the chicks are seen, this little hoe, I suppose, is only 16. Turn your dick green, make it spit steam. Keep your shit clean. Get cream and a hip shot. Hooker chick thought, I'm all bloody. Could I be the Southwest Strangler?
I don't like that one bit. Although I will let him take credit for some Austin incidents.
Sure. Baby, I'm a painter and my van's parked on Chalmers. Love this. Okay, so he goes for a walk covered in blood, sees an underage prostitute and assures her it's not paint, Jane Gum style. I'm just working out my van. Could you help me with the paint in the back?
Yes.
Basically.
Right. Now, Garrett, if you were in this situation, how would you address her?
Ooh, what do you mean?
Read the next one.
How much to fuck a nut in your butthole?
Go on.
I think... Haha, really though, what's the ticket on that dirty pussy hole?
Oh, come on.
Damn, dude. 25 a BJ, 50 for a fuck. Hit me. You're in luck, slut. Come with me to my truck. But I chucked her in the dumpster, punched her, stomped her, puncture, ice pick 30 time monster. Camel clutch, bent the bitch all the way back until the slut snapped. The back of her head tucked in her butt crack. Good lord. So he inquires about hiring her for a job, but instead takes her to an alley, bends her backwards, folds her head into her own butt.
Yes.
Okay, so at this point, I would like to address the FBI. How, guys, do you not see that this is clearly targeted squarely at, like, teenage boys? This is not a cult. This is not a gang. These are idiots.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, that alone.
This could not possibly appeal to anyone who could produce an organized level of violence.
No, nor could they possibly even intend to want that. Like, these are children. Let's see how the journey ends, Tim. He continues after he presumably had sex with that underage girl.
No, he murdered her and put her head in her butt.
Oh, Oh, that's right. He bent her backwards.
Yeah.
That's right. Found a thick liquor bottle, snuck it into a titty bar. The bouncer had his back turned. I hit him hard. It shattered. He turned around like ain't nothing happened. And then dropped. Delayed reaction. Ha ha. I stabbed him. Jumped on stage. The whore thought it was a joke and popped her ass at me. With a piece of glass, I cut her throat and I heard a loud pop.
Yeah.
And then my head rocked. Behind me, brain slop. Hit the mirror, bartender's dead shot. Head on spot. Never saw the red dot. Everywhere spread, hair and skull chips. Head slop.
Yeah, so this is the song they have on every single album where one of them goes on a rampage and just goes on some sort of spree killing, and it's awesome every time.
I gotta say, the last one we did, I think he gets a tank. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it gets more Grand Theft Auto-y than this, admittedly.
You know, this one's kind of lazy. Goes in, bashes a guy with a bottle, slits a woman's throat. Although there is a life lesson in here for anybody listening. Don't get on the stage at a strip club unless explicitly invited by a bouncer or by a bartender. Even if a dancer tells you to get on the stage, don't trust them.
Unless you're there for the purposes of violence, in which case, hop aboard.
Well, sure, Tim. That almost goes without saying. If you're there for violence, nobody makes the rules but you.
Absolutely. Track number 10, Low.
I'm that cheetah. When I sink
Get ready, folks. We're going on fast forward speed.
Oh, Garrett, but I hate this one so much.
That's true, but it doesn't take much to really explain why.
It's goddamn the zombies, Garrett. This is...
When I sink my fangs... Oh, wait, sorry, it's ICP. I'm that blade in your kidneys, the sickness in your brain. 'Cause I'm low, underneath the bottom, forever low. Wretched, vile, rotten, I'm so low. I look up and I see hell's glow. I mean, that kind of sums it up. Is anybody confused why we're upset? It took me a long time to figure out why he was calling himself a mink, but I guess that's just kind of a small rat with a really nice fine fur.
We could use mink in there instead of the murder minks.
The murder minks. I like it. You know why minks are so soft? It's a hair follicle density thing.
Oh, sure. It's like Egyptian cotton. You gotta up that
Absolutely.
thread count.
I finally understand why you say that. I don't know about Egyptian cotton.
That's why I Garrett.
I Googled it. No, I know now.
All right.
I know now. That was in the past. God, you're passionate about linens. Are you clean? Because I'm dirty, like a wet blood stain.
I would
I'm
prefer
that
this if
clap.
you would be singing it, actually.
I can't. It makes my throat hurt. You can, I'm giving it rhythm. I'm that clap in that nettin'. I'd rather they say pussy, and I'm not a huge fan of that word.
But not pussy hole.
Absolutely not.
Okay. So the hierarchy
banished
here
it.
of the words we like on this show officially, it goes pussy, nettin', pussy hole. I apologize
pussy hole's
to my
always at the
mother
bottom.
who listens to this show now.
Oh my goodness. So the last line of that is I'm that clap in that nettin' about to infect that wang. God. I'm sorry. So he's comparing himself to the clap, which I guess is gonorrhea. And do you think that's is he bragging, Tim, or is he lamenting his status?
I don't know. I mean, minks and
Okay.
cheetahs are pretty cool, so this does seem
I agree.
positive.
But then he says, antifreeze in your cola, the Ayatollah, Ebola, the high that own ya, lie in a coma. He's all over the map here.
Right, but he is listing things that are badass, right? Antifreeze in your cola will kill you. Ayatollah.
Well, no, that's just hold on. Antifreeze, I assume that's just a reference to the preservative that is in both antifreeze and in Coke.
No. I think he's putting antifreeze in his cola in an attempt to get high or drunk.
Oh,
and
I
you
think he's
shouldn't.
putting
It will kill you.
Antifreeze in other people's cola in order to poison them and exact revenge.
Okay, just like the Ayatollah or Ebola. It all makes sense to me.
The revenge, the classic revenge disease.
Yeah.
Ebola, God's revenge. For what? Let's see. He's way no. So these are not all awesome things. One is at best murder. One is the Ayatollah, which I say, which one?
Sure. I don't think they know it's not a person's name.
What is he, a wizard that never dies?
Maybe.
Is this the same guy?
Maybe it's like the Pope, you know?
Also not the same guy. You know that. They got rid of that.
They're
other
all
guy.
Jesus, right? Do I not understand Catholicism? I thought it was the reincarnation of
as-
Jesus.
It's not as far off from that, I think, than I would like. Anyway, song continues. Evil twin Hulk Hogan, brother. Tank Hogan, brother. That one, no fun. The tragedy, you know what? Actually, I'm not even going to read this because the only reason I wanted to read it is there's like 4 brother samples in here of Hulk Hogan, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, the rest of this sucks.
Yeah, it's just about how low he is. He's a snake, watch him slither down his hole, conversate with the devil, a couple more lows, and then we end with a brother after 28 seconds of beats. Track number 11, the horribly named Triplex.
Gonna fucking murder Chloe Kardashian. Run straight through her front door and crash it in.
This is my least favorite song on this album.
Yes, concur.
It's supposed to be like a group therapy session. I think it's supposed to be funny.
Group therapy? You think it's group therapy?
Well, because it seems like the patients are interacting with one another, or at least are aware of one another.
Oh, I am almost, well, this is interesting.
Or is it
a
a multiple personality thing?
I thought it was multiple personality. I'm not even joking. I didn't even blink. I thought it was a therapy session, and like you open with some like light hypnosis. Close your eyes and relax, okay? All right. Is Eddie around? Can I hear from Eddie today?
Yeah, I think you're right. That's fair.
Eddie, do you want to tell me what's on your mind? Bloody red, bloodshed, gutted hose and death. Hating women, I kill 'em till there ain't none left. Call me Machete Eddie, tell Betty, be ready. Slice her titties off and chop 'em into slops of spaghetti. Now, Tim, let me end that with a compliment. This is at least within... Never mind, I can't. I just can't.
Within the confines of Insane Clown Posse's repertoire, this is at least a thing. The song stays on topic through the rest of the song.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I at least feel like it's a cogent story end to end.
It's at least a single concept that they stick to for however long this song is.
It's a low bar, but they reach it. All right, so what I will compliment them on is the therapist's reaction is actually pretty good. Whoever is doing that is doing a good job. So after he reads all of that business, the therapist replies, "Not good. Okay. How about Hank? Hank, what's up with you, buddy? How's the diet going? I want to fuck a fat lady, have fat babies, and love them and shove them in a fat microwave oven, and eat them naked in my backyard at midnight grubbing. Jesus Christ. What about Dan? Is my friend Dan around today? Dan man here. I had 3 sisters, 4 brothers. I killed all of them, father muckers. A sacrifice for the girl I loved. Who cares if she's a he? Listen, I was born a she. Why do we keep missing? Lots to talk about here, I guess. So it's 3 personalities, all of them terrible, and what I have to ask is, why is this person not in prison?
Oh, I think this is doctor-patient confidentiality. He's only...
I don't know if it's that strong.
Yeah, maybe. He's mentioning hurting somebody specifically, yeah.
Yeah, he said he murdered his family.
Yeah.
3 murderers and 1 morbid man. Don't question why in the mind of a lunatic. 3 murderers, 1 morbid man. Triplex of violence in the mind of a lunatic. Now, the chorus implies, Tim, that there's a 4th personality, the man who's not the lunatic, because the therapist opens by asking to hear from each of the 3. So that gives me the impression that there's a dude out there who's having to deal with the actions listed in this song.
Sure, so it really should be quaplex.
Yeah, quadplex. What are you saying?
Quaplex.
Quaplex. I'll allow it. This whole thing is so dumb and becoming like worse by the minute. Let's keep it moving. Oh, God. Quaplex. Song continues. I shot an athlete in the head and ate his heart for a start. I shot a scholar in the heart and ate his brain for the smarts. I shot a porn star and ate his junk to be dick strong, but caught full-blown AIDS. I'll be gone before the song. First of all, don't eat dicks. 2,
let's just say don't be a cannibal as a general
that's
rule.
good. Good call. 2, definitely not up to date on their AIDS treatments. Yeah, you can live a normal, healthy life.
I mean, the real danger here is getting Creutzfeldt-Jakob from that brain. You know,
Exactly.
You don't want a spongiform encephalopathy. That'll fuck you up way before AIDS.
Yeah, because no one's looking for it.
Well, it's hard.
You're going to come in with weird symptoms.
Oh, sure.
What's this guy's deal?
Sure. And if they do a biopsy to figure it out, you're contaminating an entire laboratory.
Oh, God.
Just don't eat brains.
Yeah. I mean, you can eat other animals' brains.
I wouldn't suggest it, but yeah. I think, listen, if you're going to eat a heart, it's not going to give you athletic prowess. At most, it will give you the man's courage.
And sometimes their memory. memories. I don't know why.
It's true. It's weird because everyone assumes that memories are stored in the brain, but really scientific evidence suggests it's the heart.
The important ones.
Sure. And sometimes the liver.
Oh, that's news to me, but I have not done my reading. My buddy Dustin lately, hey Dustin, we've been gagging each other. Oops. So I've been shagging his 83-year-old mother. And Tim, I want to ask, what's gagging each other? Are they just chloroforming each other in some sort of elaborate game of tag? Because if so, I'm down.
I assume that it's a who can last longest type of game where each one opens their mouth very wide and takes their finger, placing it down the other's throat, and whoever vomits first loses. I would assume.
Oh no. That's horrible.
Yeah, it is, Garrett. They're
gagging
clowns.
each other.
Yeah, fake clowns. But
I didn't even consider that. My thing's fun.
I mean, it's not fun. Here's the problem.
No,
you are so heavy with the chloroform. Every single time I wake up dumber.
I will let you dab the cloth, but hear me out.
It's not the amount of cloth.
It's the duration.
It's the time you hold it over my face.
The problem is that you don't fucking honor the truce on a failed chloroforming. You always fight back. Fred Fury would be proud.
Thank you.
It's not a compliment.
Oh.
You're in poor company. That is not high praise. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. What I'm saying, Tim, we make the building off limits because it's too close a proximity. I can't be going to the gym in the building and have you chloroform me while I'm on the lat pole. Outside the building, though, the city is our playground and it's a game of tag. You're it, I'm it, vice versa. You've seen the game, but with chloroform. That's pretty fun. Waiting on the subway, chloroform.
Yes.
Getting a slice, chloroform.
Now, how about this? Same exact concept, but instead of chloroform, I sneak up behind you, jam my finger down your throat, make you vomit in front of everyone, and then run off.
You've been gay.
Yeah, you're eating a slice.
God. Believe it or not, your thing sounds like way, way more traumatizing and dangerous.
Oh, sure.
Because, you can't know that those hands are going to be clean when you spot me. What if I'm waiting for a train and you didn't know I was going somewhere on my lunch break and you're like, oh my God, I'm totally going to gag.
Garrett, I like the Hulk in that first Avenger movie, simply never have clean hands.
Yeah, we're not going to be doing this game. Oh, you know what? All right. Much like the therapist at the end of this song, let's just move on. Track number 12, Nobody's Fault.
Can't go a day without me getting high. I call it getting by. Fuck you on
Weird Beck cover.
Weird Beck cover. Tired of fighting. That's Fighting for Lost Cause. Let's see. Let's get right into it. There's an intro. It's possibly from Fred telling you not to take no shit or whatever. Let's just see.
And Fred uses the term love wimp quite a bit, which new terminology confusing to me.
Man, you don't want to be no weak lame. You got that street game. Fuck what they talking about. Who wants to be a love wimp? You a motherfucking triple OG scrub pimp. Remember when people were calling other people a lame?
No.
We talked about it at length on the show repeatedly.
Perhaps a recent chloroforming was held upon my face too long.
Remains to be seen. Anyway, let's see here. Song begins. Mama, I can't seem to make a fucking friend. I always seem to end up just pretend. They always fucking suck in the end. Fucking bit my hand some fucking shit again. I don't quit or end. Can't go a day without me getting high. I call it getting by. Fuck you, won't even try. No shit, I'd rather die. So this guy's addicted to some drugs and can't make friends.
Yeah, and the friends sound like puppies. Also, this is all in some sort of weird SoundCloud rapist style.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It is firmly in ICP lyrical territory, though, right? I'd rather stick a fucking chicken skewer through my eye. It's true than lick it dry, no lie. Can't be right how bad I want a nut. I'm fantasizing, tough, I just might combust. Trip on a slut's lust, shit's a must. At night I grip my nuts and flick the tip till it erupts, then wipe it up.
Okay, I don't want to get too specific here, but we can agree. He's doing it wrong.
He is doing it wrong. Listeners, younger listeners.
Any listeners. Let's not specify younger listeners explicit. In fact, let's do the opposite.
Older listeners, you're doing it wrong.
Don't flick anything. Well, that's not true. On a man, no flicking. Ask before you flick. Don't assume.
Flick gently when you do flick.
I would be off-put if a romantic partner, if she were to be like, all right, If she were to flick my wiener, there's no other way to say it. Don't flick wieners.
Don't flick Wayne.
Jesus. Yeah, don't F the W. That's the shirt.
I don't think it should be. We've had requests for a Track 4 shirt, which I think is very funny.
That is a very funny shirt. That's a very inside shirt. I like it. Let's see. Song continues. I'm all alone when I get the bone. All alone when the chips are blown. The bullshit's my own. It's nobody's fault but mine. Don't diss yourself, kid. Kiss yourself. Shit. So the chorus is a reflection on his circumstances and the recognition that everything that goes wrong is more or less his fault. But then there's the weird line at the end where somebody, I guess Fred maybe, tells this kid not to be so hard on himself and to kiss himself?
Yeah.
Okay. Song continues. From this day forth, I'll be a faithful man. It was a great sounding plan, but it was built on quicksand. That shit was over before it began. Blam. Left with my dick in my hand. Don't understand. Don't be ashamed. That's game. Again, somebody comes out of nowhere and gives them like words of encouragement when he talks about how much of a piece of shit he is.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe this is the two of them, like we do, giving each other encouragement in their own vernacular.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because we're nice to each other, but not in a way that would seem outwardly nice to other people.
Yes, not in a conventional sense, and also it's very mean and chloroformy sometimes.
Yeah, and like deeply personal.
Oh, yeah.
And scathing.
Garrett knows enough about me to make it really hurt when he insults me.
Yeah. Tim knows my secrets as well, and since nobody else does, anything he says just crumbles me like ancient architecture.
Like sausage. Yes, let's move on.
Like a stale Oreo.
Oh, yeah, Garrett.
Sausage. Sausage. Track 13, Hothead.
Heart for a baby centaur as he rips cats' heads off and
Oh, we get more random 665 references.
Yeah, let's not even address it.
And then we go into verse 1. Again, this is more, he's really trying to be shocking here, I guess.
Yeah.
In my basement, wrapped in intestines, waiting for answers, mouth maggots grow too quick to spit or swallow, so why try? Mom's headless, but her windpipe says I'm good to romance her.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's hallucinating or if he has brain problems. Like, is this really happening?
I don't know. Mouth maggots, though, needs to be added to the list of like throat berries and ass milk of words that just do not go together.
Yeah, that's true. Mouth maggots.
Yeah. It feels like they just tore up the song and reassembled like lines at random in part of this, right? Because oh so cute, I love watching. Bloodworms burrow their way through my stomach, deep into my gut. Duck in dark shadows downtown in search of freshly pissed on corners. In the woods behind Walmart, now I'm jacking off on a big fat dead slut. A moss-covered old stick in my mouth I put there because I'm horny. A 10-foot red hell snake broke through my floor, I'd feed it, but what? What is this? These are, I forget, was it William S. Burroughs who used to cut up like paragraphs and lines and just randomly reassemble them in the book? It feels like that's what they've done here. It probably isn't William S. Burroughs. Don't bother writing in though.
Yeah, we don't care.
Yes, we hate literature.
Well, what's really funny is that it begins mildly coherent.
Yes.
Like you read a lot there, so like it begins up steps I found in the woods above trees into moonlit skies. A flare melts off my balls, as ordered by my secret fairy dancers. You know what, Tim? I stand corrected. It starts pretty insane too.
Yeah.
Blood streams down my cheeks from my swelled up, big ass red grapefruit eyes. So he's joined some sort of fairy cult, or he's having some sort of wildly romantic fantasy filled with visual hallucinations, which seems unlikely. So we'll say fairy cult. But yeah, like it gets so insane with the red snake. What is it again? What is it called?
A 10-foot red hell snake.
Ah, yes. 2 4-pound snapping turtles live in my toilet bowl, drunk on Corona. Huh? I play harp for a baby centaur as he rips cats' heads off and drinks their blood. What are we talking about? Also, I want a baby centaur. Let's just talk about that. Could you imagine? Now, obviously, I've always been scared of a concept of a real centaur, but like a 18-inch centaur who fights cats? I'd watch that.
Yes. Yes, I would too. Here's the thing. Would you put a teddy bear on its back to ride it around constantly?
Oh, hell, put a monkey on it. I've seen a monkey ride a dog.
But in this scenario, we also have to then get a monkey. I guess if we've got a centaur, we probably have access to some sort of monkey too.
Honestly, Tim, I think getting a mini centaur is really the biggest obstacle. I can get you a capuchin by Wednesday.
Really? Please do.
Nope, you only get one with the other. That guarantees no monkeys enter this house. God damn it. I don't need fingers and weens ripped off. Track 14. Shit.
She's bloody and she likes that. A child dead in her arms, she takes a bite of his neck.
This could be a genuinely interesting story.
It's creepy.
Well, okay, but it's told so incompetently by this group. So there's a really interesting story in here is what my point is. So this is a story about Shimmer, who is some sort of closet monster, right?
Yep.
Okay, so dear God, I don't know if you're really real because mom and dad and stepdad say that you're total hogwash. But if you're real, and I believe you are, I could really use your help. Every night something awful comes to my closet. It's a woman, but she's dead, and I don't know why she's here. I don't know what she wants. Most of all, I don't know how to make her go away, and I'm really, really scared. I get the feeling she wants me dead. This is read by some sort in a childlike voice. So far, I'm into this. This is fine.
It's creepy.
Yeah. So maybe this album should have been about the ghost lady instead of Fred. It's a shame that they painted themselves into having to make these be about demons, because this is much more interesting. The first one
could easily graft Shimmer's story onto Fred's and be equally as entertained.
Well, so here's the thing. This could be the Fred story. Shimmer's not in heaven. Shimmer's not in hell. Shimmer's in the echo side as far as I can tell. Also creepy.
Yep.
I feel her presence when I'm standing at the mirror in the dark. I hear her voice within the wind vibrating my heart. It terrifies me. In class, I feel I'm free, but too quickly it passed before I'm headed back to our sickly house on Cass. Shimmer hates laughter and juveniles. Throughout my day, I'd hear her say, I'll make you pay for every smile. Right? So this, again, still into it.
Yep.
Here's where it goes bad for me.
Okay.
She was a bad girl who liked to cause agony, I guarantee, and now she wants to terrify and bury me. I'm used to sodomy. My dad's a demon, and Mama's drunk and good for nothing, but something to stuff his semen in. Red light illuminates my closet when Shimmer comes with a wretched stench, and underneath the door, blood runs. I stay in bed under covers, but fear forces me to see the closet door open and Shimmer pointing at me. The parent stuff does not belong in this song, unless you're gonna do something with it later, and they don't.
Well, I mean, I guess it just, I think the point is just to address, like, why their parents won't do anything about it.
Yeah, but the parents won't do anything about it anyway because they think it's bullshit. That you don't need a reason for that. But here's,
I guess.
Well, no, well, listen, if you had a kid and he came in and was like, Shimmer's back in my closet, you go check the closet, there'd be nothing there, and you go back to bed. Done.
Well, you're assuming there'd be nothing there.
There would be nothing
They just never check. What do you mean there'd be nothing there? Shimmer would be there.
Shimmer would hide from the parents. You don't know anything about closet ghosts. Anyway.
You're using Monsters, Inc. rules.
No, it would just, listen, it would be invisible to the parents. It would hide. I don't know. Maybe it would go hop in a different closet while the kid's out of the room. Maybe it would hide under the bed for a moment. Doesn't matter. The point is, the better story here, maybe the ghost comes to terrify him and drag him to hell with her, right?
Yeah, well, that's where you think it's going.
But that's, okay, is that not where it's going?
No.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
I don't think you finished the song.
I did finish the song.
All right, song continues. I tell my favorite teacher, Mr. Bodock, I said, there's a wicked ghost hounding me round the clock. He said, pray, little man, God's bliss is always there. Yet when Shimmer shows up, that bliss disappears. All right, so of course, God's the answer because this is ICP, the world's most poorly masquerading Christian band out there these days. We're on to you, boys. So he does what his teacher told him to. I left a Bible in that closet, but found it bloody. I just want the world to know I need some help, somebody. When she comes, the temperature drops. I see my breath. My clock light dies out and the room smells of death. All right, so the Bible didn't do shit. So this is when he decides to sacrifice himself to this ghost. Fuck it, I'll do it. She'll never stop till it's correct. I'll walk right into her arms, let her have my neck. And so that's exactly what he does. Her teeth sunk in well, and I felt the rip. Total darkness, but suddenly pain, till I almost went deaf when she screamed my name. Still paralyzed, I opened my eyes and found myself alive. In my closet, sound of health. The fear poured out of my body, released its clutch. The first thing I felt was leather's touch. In my hands, the Bible, the one I'd left in there. It was no longer bloody, and all the pages were clear. So let's just stop right there. The rest doesn't even matter. We'll read it in a sec. So that's, he seems like he's going going to get ripped to hell, but instead that Bible protects him, Tim.
Sure, okay. Well, yes.
You were saying he does get sent to hell.
No. That's not what I'm saying. The message here seems to be you should be a brave Christian boy.
Yes, that is definitely the message.
But what's never addressed is the parents. He's clearly being abused by the parents.
Okay, yes, no, now we're on the same page. I completely agree. Somebody needs to look into those parents. He's used to sodomy.
Yes, and so here's what I think the song should be. The ghost comes to terrify him and to drag him to hell with her. When she comes, she witnesses the unpleasantness.
Oh, God.
And decides, I'm going to be a vengeful spirit on his side. And then she haunts the parents or the father.
Much better.
Yeah. Or possibly she takes him under her wing, trains him Mr. Miyagi style to kill his dad. The point is, there's a better song, a much, much better song in here that it could even be on theme, right? So it's a much better song than You Should Just Be a Good Christian Boy, but it's also more on theme because it would be about like you're writing, she came to torture him and then ends up righting the actual wrong, right? It's
right.
The thing, it would go with their theme because these people, ICP hates above all else child molesters and pedophiles, right?
True.
So
we're on the same page with ICP on at least one thing.
Right. But this would go with their main theme where this hell demon is so upset by the parents' actions is worse than the hell demon in the closet.
Yeah, I assume this boy ran to the closet for salvation and then ends up getting raised by a demon.
Yeah, fun story there.
Demon had to give up demoning, had to give up child haunting, had to go get a real job as a substitute teacher.
Eating parents.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, or it could be a pinball wizard situation and it's all just a metaphor for the abuse this child's suffering. But that's horrible. So let's move on to track 15, Freedom.
I'm alive, the heart up in my chest is beating strong. Don't stress over how long, just love.
This one also has a SoundCloud rap feel to it.
Yes, it does. They are chasing the trends, and it is not looking good on their 50-year-old bodies.
Yeah, and I will say this. We've had two very obvious interpolations so far, or samples. I don't know what you would call them. This one, to me, it kind of feels like I'm free to do what I want any old time, like in spirit.
I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, but they just kind of stole the concept of it.
Yes, and what makes me laugh about it is the things that he lists, he is not free to do.
Oh, sure.
Let's get into it immediately. So, I'm alive. The heart up in my chest is beating strong. Don't stress over how long. Just love it as I carry on. Jay, this song is meant to address your heart failure diagnosis, and to be clear, so there's no misunderstandings, the heart in your chest is not, in fact, beating strong. That is, I hate to have to remind you again, sir. That's the nature of it. It's not. So he then goes on to list all these things that he is free to do and enjoy in life without worrying if he's going to die tomorrow, which could legitimately happen. He said, free to meet any bitch, spit the right game, I tap that ass, might see me ugly first, but with this swag, that shit don't last. And I did like this. He acknowledges that he is hideous and has congestive heart failure, but he's mildly, weirdly famous and has a little bit of money that goes along with that. So, it tends to bridge the gap, which reminds me, Tim, we didn't mention on this episode the recent relationship with Violent J and this like OnlyFans woman that's like 27 years younger than him.
Yeah.
I did some research on her because I know we had talked about it on a previous episode. She has a history of dating, let's say, considerably older and troll-like men.
Yeah, she's been on several reality TV shows for her unconventional choices in partners, shall we say.
Yeah, all the while being, a pornographist.
Yes, a pornography.
No, she's a pornographist.
Well, does she make it or is it made of her?
That's an interesting
I think
point.
She's not the pornographer or the pornographist. I think she's the pornography. Maybe. I don't know. I honestly don't know what her role is.
Well, it's OnlyFans and in this, creator culture lifestyle.
So she is both the pornographist and the pornography.
And pornographer.
Triple threat.
Clown fucker. Quam threat. Quaplex, excuse me.
I'm free to scuba dive, Aruba with my ruby gem. Freak the tuba super live or Uber drive for ends. Crewed up like Scooby-Doo, but with Shaggy. We best friends. No ICP for him without me. For me, ain't none without him. And I like that because what he's saying is he can't do it without me. I don't really want to do it without him, but I could.
Yeah, he definitely could. But not to be a Debbie Downer. You cannot scuba dive, sir.
No.
No situations where you might be forced to hold your breath or you will almost certainly die.
I'm free to have 10 kids and adopt 7 more, and free to feed them with no table or plate on the floor. Free, like dogs they are, Garrett. Eating out of bowls I've placed around the floor. Free to live out in the boonies with some pigs and chicken hawks. Wear no drawers, let my nuts hang, and roll 2 rubbers on for socks. Free to be a shrink, and no, you're not, sir. That's a protected position. And listen or have one hear me, make my face an exercise bike seat so fat hoes sit on me. I'm free to be a priest if I think God is in them clouds, or worship Satan if I like burning up underground. Again, Christian band.
Yes, absolutely. I'm free to go, free to see, free to go, be anything I want to be. I mean, sounds like Christian rock. This is terrible. There are literally 2 more verses about what he is free to do, and I did not find any of those things worthy of writing them down. So let's move on to track 16, Beware, featuring Dr. Punch.
Is the most disturbing work of their entire career.
The voice guy is back with a warning of the nature of the next song. He says, beware. The members of ICP feel that the very next song, I Like It Rough, the final track of the Fearless Fred Fury album, is the most disturbing work of their entire career. Because of the sadistic sexual nature and extreme violent content that follows, they wish to advise a warning. Continue listening at your own risk.
Spoiler alert, it's not that bad.
It's the same as all their other goddamn songs.
Yeah, I legit, real letdown.
I know. I was hoping for something extra, and
I don't know. Let's get into it.
Yeah, track 17, I Like It Rough.
Run away with them blood red lips. I'd like to drink you and slowly relish them sips.
Luckily, the last song is the longest song on the album.
Ugh, and it is unexpectedly sexy, right?
I wouldn't say sexy. It's got something in it. He says, trust, just know to bust, we must, lust is us, then we rust, dust. Which is a really convoluted way of saying the sole purpose of all of us in humanity is to fuck. And then once we do, we slowly rust up and turn to dust, which is, of course, very accurate biologically. The song itself begins with, I believe, the chorus, and it's pretty gross. He says, what you know about romance? What you know about sex? What you know about suffering and gag reflex? What you know about reaching your peak on the edges of death? What you know about my climax costing your last breath? This guy likes it rough, Tim, and it might cost you your life.
Right, and I think that's the point. He'd like to time those 2 events to coincide.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Watch the life fade as he has watch somebody have the big death while he has the little one.
Ah, you speak French.
Oh, no.
How terrifying, then.
Well, hey, run away with them blood red lips. I'd like to drink you in slowly, relish them sips. I'd like to smother your shine, be your eternal eclipse. I'd like to hang and stab you, shower and absorb your drips. Well, hey, run away with the blood red thong. I'd like to snatch you up and murder fuck you like King Kong. I'd like to scare you, boo-boo, get your skin out and wear you. I'd like to tear you in half, study each side and compare you. So he's into some like real Army Hammer level role playing here. He likes it rough, and also he likes to find emotionally damaged women, maintaining that runaway motif from the earlier songs, who may potentially also like it rough from their emotional damage.
Now, while we're on the subject, did Army Hammer do anything wrong?
I don't think so.
Okay, he's just creepy, and we're all a little unsettled by his desires.
Yeah, I believe. Don't quote me on this, but to the best of my understanding is he's just into like the weirdest role play I've ever heard of.
Fair enough.
Hannibal play.
It's pretty sexy.
Yeah. So then we get a whole verse dedicated to choking each other with panties, which seems either unfair or unsatisfying depending on how you look at it. Let me explain. So I'll read half the verse. No, not even. 40% of it. Let me choke you with your panties till your eyeballs roll back. Then you can choke me with your panties till you feel my shit snap. Then I can choke you with your panties till your tongue hangs out a foot long. Then choke me with your panties, slit my throat with your thong. Bitch, let me choke you with your panties till you're purple like rain. Then you can choke me with your panties, shut my jugular vein. And that's what I mean. It's either going to be wildly unsatisfying satisfying or very uneven. If I'm having some sort of choke-off with panties with me and a young lady, I'm considerably stronger than that woman.
Well, sure, but it seems like she's winning this, right? She seems to be giving as good as she gets at the very least, right?
Yeah, and I guess the neck, doesn't really matter strength-wise. You could...
Oh, it matters.
Now, look who I'm talking to here. You could strangle anybody if you got the right tools and know-how, right, Tim?
I mean,
right,
it
Tim?
definitely matters. Strength matters in that situation.
I think strength is much more of a factor when surprise is an element you have to deal with, but that's really more your bag.
You want to go first with surprise.
Okay.
Then you go with speed, so you get them out quick and everything's good. And then if both of those fail, overpowering strength. I've heard people say...
Let's see here. After the let me choke you with your panties breakdown, which is weirdly jazzy. Let me choke you with your panties. Run away. Tell me your illest desire. What? Want me to fuck you while my dick is on fire? Now, obviously, you can't do that. But you could put capsaicin on your wiener, and I've done that on accident with a serrano pepper not that long ago. It was not cool.
Okay.
That's just a funny little anecdote in the morning. But listeners, write in, hatePodMail@gmail.com. You doing this? You getting spicy wieners?
We've all had
What's that about?
crawfish,
That's Tim's story. Anytime we hear Tim say we've all, get ready to hear something none of us have done.
You've never had crawfish and then maybe not washed your hands.
I definitely have.
All right, there it is.
Definitely
there
have.
it is.
But I did it very recently chopping a serrano pepper.
Fair enough.
It was like, oh, that's weird.
Very
My pants are
recently
really warm.
and on purpose. And there's the difference.
Muy caliente. Let's see. Well, that's kind of it. Who gives a shit, right? The outro is the bridge 4 times in a row, and the bridge is the intro that I read at the beginning. Trust, just know, to bust we must. Lust is us, then we rust dust. It's not good. Oh, then we do get the final and 8th Hulk Hogan sampling of Brother when there are 2 seconds left in the song. And that brings us to How Did It Do, where I asked Tim, how did it do?
Not well. I have no idea exactly how many this sold, but from what I could piece together from the internet, less than 100,000 copies total. It was not one of the 3 gold or 2 platinum albums that ICP has achieved out of a total of 40 albums and 19 EPs released between the two of them. This did hit number 2 on the US Billboard Indie charts and number 2 on something called the US Billboard Top Tastemaker charts, which seems inaccurate, but it only hit number 44 on the actual US Billboard chart, and in today's market, that is not good. The Dutch are huge juggleheads, but the Dutch that we now own seem to fear this. I would blast it into their cage and they would just kind of cower toward the back, so it seems like they were not huge fans.
It's not their cage, it's a bike cage, to be clear.
Sure, but
it's
become their cage.
They love bikes. Is there sawdust on the ground? Yes. Is there a large life-size hamster wheel? Of course. They need to get exercise. I wouldn't call it a cage, though.
Sure. They're cell. That's worse.
What did people think of it?
Well, Garrett, there are 441 total Amazon reviews, 4.7 out of 5 stars on average, 82% 5-star, 3% 1-star. The Eric M. Johnson in 2022 said, "The Wicked Clowns have made another great album. Remember to also purchase the Flip the Rat CD. It is also a part of Fearless Fred Fury album. Remember that the CD purchase helps get the Hatchet more record plaques on their walls. Whoop Whoop 17, 5 out of 5 stars."
God damn.
They're not getting any more plaques on their walls. Sorry.
No. There'll be one more plaque very soon.
Oh, sure. Well, they're getting plaques. Heart plaques. Whatever. Anyway, Ashy Two Knees. Ashy Two Knees 2019 said, "This album makes me think of Hell's Pit a lot. Its whole theme is people who take their life for a meaningless, sad, depressed, put upon wreck. So when they die, they will not be punished for not appreciating what they had. Oh, it's also about people who are not willing to stand up for themselves when they're being bullied. It's not the easiest thing to accomplish, but at some point, point, you have to build up your courage and fight back. 5 out of 5 stars. Now, I got curious because Ashy Two Knees sounds like some sort of racist ICP handle, so I did a little research on this person. Here's another review from 2023. It's called Misspelled Banner. Warning. As the other reviews have mentioned, this should read Eid Mubarak. Instead, you will get exactly what is in the display image, Eid Mubarak. Please do not buy this item. 1 out of 5 stars. This person has a lot of Muslim-related reviews.
I guess so.
Yeah.
It was just they're having an Eid celebration, and
I believe so,
there's misspelled banner.
Yeah, they got a misspelled banner and embarrassed themselves in front of Allah.
That's pretty funny. Not to Allah.
No, absolutely not. Now, I'm going to read 3 here. This is by Lisa, followed by Bye Bye Jude 69 and Alicia Kale. Bought this for my husband. He really loves it. Husband loves this. Bought this for him. I ordered this CD for my husband and he was super thrilled with it since he's been an ICP fan forever. That was the last one's from Canada, which I found interesting. But the point here is these are at least 3 women that are married to juggalos because they clearly don't like it themselves, but they're putting up with juggalohood. Juggalos are taking our human women.
Oh, man. Yeah, that is write your congressman. Things don't change until the legislation changes.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
One more here. This is by Seattle Chick, and I want to preface this by saying this lady is genuinely adorable. The review is titled Darn from 2019. Just bad. What the heck are they even trying to do? I sure miss the old days. 1 out of 5 stars.
Fascinating.
A person who says darn and what the heck should not be listening to this album.
And shouldn't have a reverence for the good old days.
I don't know if it's the good old days of ICP or the good old days when she wasn't subjected to ICP. I don't know.
The second one makes more sense.
Yeah.
If it's the first one, she should have a podcast, and I will subscribe.
Yes, absolutely. Seattle Chick, reach out.
Oh, God. Fantastic, Tim. Who is this for?
This is for the completest juggalo and nobody else.
Dregs of humanity.
Yes. Those people whose quotes I read earlier.
Yes, well put. That brings us to final thoughts. I will begin and possibly end by saying, boy, they sure try hard.
Yeah. They do put a lot of effort in. I give them that.
They do. And to be perfectly fair, I'm sure that that's how the rest of the world views this show.
Yeah.
Boy, they sure put a lot of effort into it for not that much product.
Rude. Rude world. You're a rude world.
I don't know why they have to be so mean. This is pure hot garbage.
Absolutely. I'm just going to say this ICPissmas on our part, unforced error.
I mean, you had to get to it at some point.
No, the concept, the bit, unforced error.
Oh, I see. I need a satellite on that, bro.
I do like that we're going to incorporate that forever.
Yep, that's it now.
Honestly, better concept for a song than Dave Matthews' Satellite.
Yeah, that's probably
worse execution, though.
Well,
maybe.
sure.
Equal execution.
Yeah, just different things I don't like. All right, we got to wrap this fucking up. Final thoughts? Anything else, Tim, before we bring it home? Great. Let's do this quick, everybody. Tim, after we've been all the way through it, so I have to ask it. I'm sure I know the answer. Do you hate this album?
I do. Garrett, do you hate this album?
Yeah, I got there.
Excellent. Not ICP's best work.
It's too long.
All their albums are this exact same length, Garrett. They're all between 79 and 80 minutes.
How?
It's the most they can fit on an album, and ugh.
We're trimming ICPissmas next year. I don't know exactly how we're going to do it. Maybe we rule of 11 them.
Ooh. But we pick, well, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Maybe we'll set like a joke limit. We each get 2 jokes per track.
Done.
That's not bad.
2 comments per song.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Alrighty. You hate it. I hate it. Most of America hates it. Even some of the juggalos hate it. And that's going to wrap up ICPissmas for this year. If you can, reach out, hatePodMail@gmail.com. We love to hear from you. hatepod.com, or you can find us on Instagram. That's hatepod. Threads is hatepod. Twitter's album hatepod. I'm G Harvey Tweets. Tim's account's private. I think that's about it. We've got subreddits. We've got Discord servers. Reach out to us. We want to hear from you. 2024 is the year of the Patreon. We're just waiting for that calendar to tick over, because why would we pay taxes for 2 weeks of 2023 when we can just start it in 2024?
I'm sorry, we have to pay taxes?
Oh, Christ. I got to change the password on the Patreon. We're going to end up like Wesley Snipes.
Excellent.
God.
I love that guy.
Lots of big stuff coming. We hope everybody enjoyed their holidays. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you you for all the kind messages and words and such. More solo casts, more bonus content, interesting new fun things coming. But for this week, for this podcast, for this year, for this album, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy P. Richardson, and this whole experience has been just awful.
Dreadful.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Gary.